Blessed are the children. You know, if you want to stop the world, stop a child. Hi, I'm Jim Cellini, and I'd like to introduce you to the wonderful world of street performing. Among other things, in this video, you will learn how to attract, build, and hold a crowd while earning a good living. Watch as these artists from around the world share their secrets with you. Now, the first challenge is to stop them. That's accomplished by attracting attention using sound. Now, it could be a portable sound system, a horn, a whistle, a drum, or simply the human voice.
Check, 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 1, 2, testing, 1, 2, something is going to happen over here. Over here!
One technique to attract others is by using the audience itself. Watch and learn as these seasoned performers do just that, building a larger audience.
You gotta show across the street is breaking up. Emergency, emergency. Right now I'm gonna do a jumping jack. You guys go crazy with applause. Are you ready? 2, 3, and. Would the young lady in the front row please put her shirt right on? So like I say, on the count of 3.
Yes, we want you to shout, throw your kids up when we got to, and when people come down, we start to shout.
Yes, people on the outside think we're doing something incredible, and they'll come running down.
They'll stop.
Now, it sounds stupid, but we've been doing it for 2 days. You know what we're doing, all right, folks?
A long time.
So help us out. Here we go.
Here we go. 1.
Don't let us down.
2.
Make a lot of noise. For a long time. 3.
Hey, check it out.
Huh?
They're coming down like flies.
All right. So what does that make us? It is showtime. That's your cue to, thank you very much. Just clap for me for no reason. Thank you very much. Hey, did you hear that? Something good must be happening. Let's stop and find out what. Gonna start a show involving a great deal of danger. What I will do, I, Byron from England, oh, by the way, when I say I, Byron from England, that is your cue to just go, yay, because I come a long ways and it makes me feel good, my kind of thing. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Byron. I come all the way from England to start a show for you. Thank you very much.
Legendary street performer Johnny Fox reaped the rewards using this technique. Now your next challenge is to keep them. This is accomplished by taking control, urging the spectators forward, tightening the circle. Keep in mind, the closer together you gather them, the less likely they will leave. This is accomplished by what you say, your words. Come in a bit closer. I'm trying to save my voice for a paying job. Sir, move in a little closer. You're standing in a fire zone. And I wouldn't want to make an ash out of you. Hey, if you were any further away, you'd be in a different time zone. The stars are not as, madam, the stars are not as distant as you are. Come in a bit closer. I don't bite, just nibble a little.
You people in the back, move up. The sun went away. Move in. You people in the back, you are in the position now where I get new people if I'm good. So move in. Because if you're out of the way and new people will come, I'll make more money.
At times, not a word is needed.
Anybody who wants to come up here and sit, you may. You won't be getting in anyone's way. In fact, if you do move up, you will be closer. We did a study. We had a focus group.
Why don't you come up closer to the line? I'd like to have Tricky up close. Come on up close.
How are you doing, sir? Good to see you. Wonderful, excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, right now, right here, today, it is showtime. Here, it's a big show. Oh, before I start the show, you two right over there. Hey, you two, you over there. How are you doing? I'm doing a show. That's your cue to stop. Is that actually going to work? Oh my God, I can't believe it actually worked. Come on over here, sir. Watch the show. It's very good. I've seen it before.
Notice that the spectator will do exactly what he tells him.
See a show in a big loud voice. Oh, are you going to punch me? What are you doing? No, like over there. Cigarettes out. But then you have a seat. Just make yourself comfortable. Just sit right there. Right where the dog was. Very good. Okay, oh, actually, this is unbelievable. You guys are so nice. I'm used to screaming at people and people just give me the finger to start the show. Because it's really nice here. I'm actually getting in a crowd and saying, hey, I'm going to do a show. People actually come. So give yourselves a round of applause for just being nice people. How about that? Just for being nice. Because I really like nice people. It's absolutely wonderful.
I believe as a street performer, you must qualify your audience. Like a door-to-door salesman, you must tell them what you're going to do, why you're doing it, and what you expect of them. Let's take a look at them one at a time. What are you going to do? Well, you're going to entertain them by doing a magic show. Why are you performing? Because this show is how you earn your living. What do you expect from them? If they stayed and enjoyed the show, you expect their support. Here's how I did it. I used what we call a pitch. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Cellini Magic Show. Guaranteed to confound, confuse, amaze, and amuse. It's a show seen by hundreds of thousands of people in the United States and in some parts of North Dakota. Now, before I'm through, some of you will say, how does he do that? Others will say, why? Money. No one's laughing now. I'm asked all kinds of questions, and some put me in a fix, but the most frequent question is how much do I get paid to do these tricks? Well, that all depends on you. So if I've given you a few thrills, you can give me a few. In other words, if you enjoyed the show, let my hat know. Or, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the greatest little magic show in the world. Guaranteed to confound, confuse, daze, and abuse. Or is it amaze and amuse? I've been out here so long, I'm beginning to talk with a limp and walk with a lisp. Now, lots of things in life are free. This is not one of them. This show will cost you a little feedback. In other words, I want to hear a lot of response to what you see today. So let's begin by trying something out as a group. No, we're not going to take our clothes off. All I want you to do is release some of that tension by applauding, screaming, showing some enthusiasm, making the fool out of yourself, so that others will come running over. Everyone loves a nut. Okay? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Now before they scream, before I'm through, some of you will say, how does he do it? Others will ask why. Money. My show is like a Broadway play. I play, you pay. No one's laughing now. They're beginning to look like a jury. If you enjoyed the show, let my hat know. Remember, loving and giving makes life worth living. Now the first trick I was going to do for you today is impossible, so I'll start with the second. Or, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Magic Show. Guaranteed to confound, confuse, amaze, and definitely abuse. I am to you what you are to me, a culture shock. I don't mean to offend, just to bend your mind in a different direction. My show is like a play. I play, you pay. In the next few minutes, stand back, relax, and keep your hands near your wallets. Let your hair down, take it off if it doesn't belong to you. And enjoy the show. What is it going to cost? 10 or 15 bucks? Judge for yourself. And remember, when I die, they'll bury these with me. Before you venture out, be prepared. To support yourself, you'll have to travel. There's no getting around it. A street performer's life is dictated by the weather. The question is, how much stuff do you want to lug around? Are you like the act who carries a bed of nails, a unicycle, instruments? Or the clever performer who carries in his backpack a set of billiard balls, a few packs of cards, some rope, a thumb tip, and the clothes on his back? Do you need a table to perform your miracles? If so, what kind? The tray stand type? One you would carry under your arm? Or maybe a suitcase? You have to decide for yourself. I've tried them all, and today I'd rather work without one. My first was a tray jack stand like this. The second was a suitcase, and the third was a collapsible table. Each one had its own particular use. The first allowed me to come and go quickly. The second, I could carry extra props. And the third worked well inside as well as outdoors. Let's take a look. The first type I used was a tray jack stand. As you can see in the picture, the straps were changed on the top. It has a little bag or a leather sort of servant under that. And if you close the table up, it had 2 metal bars that were curled up and they could hold the top of the table. And so you see when the table is assembled, how it looks when you're using it. And in the last photo, you see how I carried it. It was very, very convenient. You simply set it down, slid the top off, put it on top, and you were ready to start the show. You'll notice that on the front of the table, or on the back side actually of the table, it was made a sign. And this was my sort of advertisement without saying a word. I could walk down the street and people knew immediately I was a magician by the words hocus pocus. I've had many, many different types of signs, but all of them work well. They're great if you want to have a cup of coffee and you don't want to do the show, you want to go to the little cafe next door. You take the tabletop off the top, turn it in front, they see the sign, they know something is going to go on there. And then you go and have your coffee, come back. When you're ready to start, you start your show. The great thing about it is that it afforded you to leave quickly. You never know what kind of trouble can pop up. It could be the police, it could be some ruffians on the street. If you want to leave, supposing that you had a deck of cards, scissors, a wand on top of your table, you simply slid the tops off the table and turned it and dumped all the things into the pouch, into that leather carrying piece underneath the table. Folded up, the top was put in, and bingo, you were gone in 3 seconds. Now the second was a suitcase, like this. One of the nicest things about this is when I had trouble walking and I didn't want to carry the shoulder bag, the tray jack stand, I could simply pull it and a couple of wheels on the bottom, and I could wheel it down the street. And when I was ready to set up, just set it up like this. So let's take a look at the inside. Now, how you build these is up to you. I used just an ordinary suitcase, but I wanted to have a tabletop. Here's my tabletop. You see how I built it so it stays here on the edge? The only shelf that I ever built was to put a pack of playing cards in it. And so I could reach under the top when I wanted to take the cards if I didn't want to hold them in my pocket or carry them with me. But that's about the only thing. The tabletop is exactly the same as you have on the tray jack stand, except this one is inside the case. And the only thing it does is allow you to do tricks on top of the table. For instance, the cups and balls, or maybe some card tricks that you're doing. And so it was very convenient that way. Of course, you're looking from the inside. And now I wanted to have something that I could throw anything and get rid of the stuff that after I finished. If I tore up a piece of paper, I would throw it in there rather than throw it on the ground. And that came from here. This allows me to stand without the tabletop on. Put the top in, very easy to close, and then just wheel it off. But there you have it. The choice is yours. I used this for quite a while, but now I'm getting to the age that I don't even want to use a table. Now the third was one of my favorites. It's when I decided not to carry the cups and balls and to work strictly from my pockets. I could be walking down the street and this is all I had. Or I could go into a bar carrying just this. I never produced the table standing. I always set it down on the ground. Surprisingly, I would set my props on top, but surprisingly, if I didn't put anything out there, no one seemed to notice it. And so I could start my routines by doing, whatever. And suddenly, when I was ready to start the main trick, I would reach down, lift this up, and the illusion, at least to the people, seemed as though the table grew out of the ground. This is a great one to work with. You saw 3. There are many other types. I had a friend of mine who used a simple ironing board, carried an ironing board with him. My friend Cosmo carries a big trunk. He's got all kinds of shelves. It's up to you. You decide which one you want to use. Are you still with me? Great. You've gathered them. You've brought them in close. And now it's time to tell them what you intend to do. There's something in that old adage, curiosity killed the cat, satisfaction brought it back.
Let me tell you what the 8 minutes consist of. 1 rope trick, 2 of the world's greatest card tricks with an ordinary deck of playing cards. Says myself and 2 gentlemen who write on the subject, and the cups and balls. But before I start, I want to show you a little warm-up stuff.
Straight jacket. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, here's my show in case you weren't paying attention, because there is going to be a test later. I will juggle the fire. I will escape from a straight jacket. Boys and girls, does that sound good? In a big loud voice, say yeah.
Why are they telling the spectators what their show is about? Because they want them to stay. And they promise if they stay, they will do something spectacular at the end.
You've got to do something good to impress me. So if you want to see something more, on the count of 3, say more. 1, 2, 3. All right, I'll give you more, people. On top of juggling the fire, escaping from the straitjacket, I, Byron from England. Go on.
Watch this, folks. I'll show you my little act. It lasts about 8 or 10 minutes of my best stuff. I created it particularly for the street. I brought it all the way from Switzerland to show it to you. You pay close attention to it, it ought to send you down Bourbon Street talking to yourself. If you don't pay attention to it, I can tell you up front, it's not going to faze you at all. So watch close, here we go. Let me tell you what the 8 minutes consist of. One rope trick, two of the world's greatest card tricks with an ordinary deck of playing cards, says myself and two gentlemen who write on the subject, and the cups and balls. But before I start, I want to show you a little warm-up stuff. Cigarette routine to begin with. Don't ever smoke them, for God's sake. I can tell you why through experience. You see, unfortunately, I've been smoking them since I was an itty-bitty fellow this high. I tried 1,000 times to put the cigarette down. When I do, it comes back. I don't care how many times I've tried. I tried 1,000 times. I wish I had to listen to Mom. You know Mom, she knows best. By the way, this is what this routine looks like 30 years later. They don't sell it at any magic shop, not at any price. Had they, every kid in the country would have one. What do I call it? I refer to it as my PhD. That's right, my PhD, and it's not hanging on my wall. I call it no kids play. The Americans call it pretty good. But they're not comparing it with anything. Hey folks, one more warm-up trick here before I start my little act. It's called a one-coin routine. It's where I do 8 or 10 moves with this one coin. Watch it. Hey, here's two of my favorite moves with a coin. Now, this is my favorite move, look, with a coin. Made out of rubber. Oh, I'm just kidding. It's a real thing. Everything's genuine here, including myself. Hey folks, watch this. I said I was going to show you my little act. Here it is now. Watch it. Like I said, it lasts about 8, maybe 10 minutes of my best stuff. So watch close, pay attention, pay close attention. I'm going to trick you real bad. You try to catch me if you think you can. Truthfully, I think I'm faster than all of you put together. But try to catch me anyway, just to make it exciting. You paying attention, fellas? Good boy. You know, folks, there's nothing in the world I'd rather do than watch a manipulator like myself prestidigitator, with the exception of a couple things. You know, a few weeks ago I was watching this guy's act in Nevada. I went out there to see this 67-year-old street performer I heard so much talk about in the last 5 or 6 years. I finally got out there to see who he was, what he knew, and who taught it to him. I watched the show 3 times a night for 3 nights, 9 acts. I walked over, told him he was great. Would he show me a few rope tricks? He said, I'll show you one. He says, the first thing you do when you're showing a rope trick is you have to establish with the people that what you're handling is one piece of line. I buy it at Home Depot. He said, let them know that I have nothing up the sleeves. I should have cut them off this morning. I don't use them. He says, make sure both these here ends are even. I'm not taking no chances in New Orleans, not on a New York bet. He says, bring it up and give it a little cut just about halfway. He says, I have to cut it and then tie it into a secure knot. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've never been a sailor before, but I do know what a secure knot is. That organization of people wouldn't accept me when they heard I was no team player. And no, indeed, I'm not. I've been a lot of things in my 50 years, but never one of those. I said, it's done. And he says, do it again. I asked him how many times. He said, several. I asked him, what was he talking about, 2, 4, 6, 8? He said, cut it until you find something you're comfortable with and people like. So I cut it 3 times and tied it 3 times. And I've been using it in my little rope routine ever since then. It's a nice trick. It's not a great trick, it's a nice trick. When I say a nice trick, not a great, I do a couple great tricks. I'm going to show you one here today with the cups. Here's the third cut and tie. He said, let the people see what's happened. In case somebody hadn't been paying attention, little chance of that in New Orleans. That's what that was. That was a joke. He says take it and wrap it securely around the hand, and somebody else has to wrap the other end tightly around hers. Don't pull it, but hold it tight. It's not tight, kid. Turn your hand over. So it's, yes, turn it, hold it tight.
Wow.
Watch this, folks, watch this. Hey, here's the second part of my three-part show. Watch it. It's two of the world's greatest card tricks with an ordinary deck of playing cards. Watch. Ordinary, I mean just that. They're all funny one side, all the same on the next. I tell you, miss, would you select a card, please? Any card, don't let me influence you. No, I'm just goofing. I'm just goofing. I tell you what, would you yell out stop?
Stop.
Any card you'd like. I want you to take and put any name you'd like in large letters on the face so that people know it's yours. Hey folks, ladies and gentlemen, the reason I'm having to do that, it's such a great trick. The Americans have been accusing me of using duplicate cards. I don't. Keep the card personal. Don't show it to nobody. Don't put it on your shirt. You'll mess your shirt up. Watch this, folks. I said I was going to show you two great card tricks. Here's the first one. The first one's my favorite. The first one's my favorite because it's the simplest, and the simple ones are always the greatest. What I want you to do is keep your eyes on this king of clubs. And I want you to keep your eyes on this three of hearts, because I'm going to try to change them by swishing my hand over them. Anybody see me do it? I call it in your face. Hey, now here's the next and last one. Watch it. Hey, I've seen this trick 1,000 times or more. Miss, I'm going to turn my back. Would you flash the card at the people? Make sure everybody sees it, or it don't work. Ready or not? Now pay attention now, because it starts to get good now, about now. So if you don't pay nothing else, pay attention.
That's sweet, man. That's it. That's it.
Watch this, folks. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, watch this. Watch this. I want to show you what I come to the States to show you. I really didn't come to show you no show. I just come to show you one trick. All the way from Switzerland. The name of it? It's called the Cups and Balls. How old is it? It's about 12,000 years old. They call it the oldest trick in the book. It being so old, I'm going to show you how it's played when I'm through so you can play nightclub in your own home. Not as well as I do, though, gentlemen, I'm sure. Just to be on the safe side, check one out, hold it in your hand, honey. Make sure there's no little people in there, trap doors, two-way mirrors. Hey, I also use a piece of plywood. I bought it at Home Depot, the same place I bought the cotton line. You saw me do the rope trick. I bought the cotton line and a piece of wood at the same day. I'm going to give the cups names and numbers so you can follow the game. So watch close. Here we go. I'm going to trick you real bad. You paying attention, boys? Huh? Good. I like people that pay attention. And I dislike ones who don't. Hey, this is going to be cup 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Unless, of course, you're a Sesame Street fan like ABC, CBA. No E or D cup, fellas. No, no. Just 3 cups. You notice upon examining the cups that they were made out of very soft metal? I mean, number 3 seems to pass through 1 and 2 seems to pass through 3. But we all realize that the cups are solid. Hey, folks, I also use one other thing that most modern-day manipulators like myself or prestidigitators don't use, and that's a magic hat. Believe me when I tell you what you're peeping into is a magic hat? I can't even imagine how many people it's tricked around the world in the last 3 decades. But if you don't pay attention the next 2 minutes, it will trick you. So keep one eye on my hat, one on my cups, and one on my balls. Because no sooner do you think that you know where the ball's at, it vanishes right before your eyes, only to reappear, you probably can guess. I know what you're thinking, this guy's got a lot of balls, and you're right, I do. So I'm going to eliminate a few of them so you can follow the game. I call this solid through solid. Watch as a little ball between my tips appears to penetrate. I mean pass, I don't like to use that word out here. Yeah. Watch it as it appears to pass right through the cup. Last but not least, there it is. But let's suppose for a second, not a minute, a second, this girl paying the closest attention. I want it to return. Yeah. I tap it like that 3 times, that ball returns. I said I was going to show you how it's done. You have to get a magic hat and learn how to, did you see that? I said I was going to show you how to do it. I pretend to take it, put my hand in my pocket. He thinks I'm putting it away, I hold it here. If I want him to think it comes here, I hold it, drop down, that ball returns, but that's the old way. This is the newest way. If you actually saw me, young man, drop the ball in my pocket, how close were you watching? How many here? Say 2, kid. I know how it's played, but I kind of like you. I don't know why. Had you said 3, it'd be 3. I can't do it better than this.
Oh, check it.
Watch close, all 3 balls. All 3. Where you going, kid? I didn't leave when you got here.
Oh, no, man. Look at this kid. Look at that.
Oh, I'm glad there was no wine in there.
I don't think so.
That will do.
Which all goes to prove, by the way, folks, that the more you play with them, the bigger they get. Hey, if you got a buck or two, here's my hat. I hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate it. So is my landlord. I enjoyed showing it to you, too.
That was sidewalk magician Sonny Holiday, who has walked, talked, and entertained his way across America for over 20 years. Now let's recap. He uses his wand to provide sound, no horn or radio to carry. Just bang in to attract attention.
Why don't you come up closer to the line? I'd like to have trick you up close. Come on up close. That way when it's over in 8 or 9 minutes, I felt like I've done something.
Once he has attracted the crowd, he brings them in, challenging the spectators, encouraging the spectators to step forward.
Let me tell you what the 8 minutes consist of. 1 rope trick, 2 of the world's greatest card tricks with an ordinary deck of playing cards. Says myself and 2 gentlemen who write on the subject, and the cups and balls.
He then tells them what he's about to do.
But before I start, I want to show you a little warm-up stuff. Cigarette routine to begin with. Don't ever smoke them, for God's sake.
He continues to tantalize them, arousing their curiosity, encouraging the audience to remain.
And I've been using it in my little rope routine ever since then. It's a nice trick. It's not a great trick, it's a nice trick. When I say a nice trick, not a great, I do a couple great tricks. I'm going to show you one here today with the cups.
He entices them to stay, encouraging them with the promise of something great at the end of his show.
So watch close, pay attention, pay close attention. I'm going to trick you real bad. You try to catch me if you think you can. Truthfully, I think I'm faster than all of you put together. But try to catch me anyway, just to make it exciting. You paying attention, fellas?
Throughout the act, he continues to challenge his audience, provoking, taunting, and aggravating them.
You know, a few weeks ago, I was watching this guy's act in Nevada. I went out there to see this 67-year-old street performer I heard so much talk about in the last 5 or 6 years. I finally got out there to see who he was, what he knew, and who taught it to him. I watched his show 3 times a night for 3 nights, 9 acts. I walked over, told him he was great. Would he show me a few rope tricks? He said, I'll show you one.
Talking non-stop, continuously giving the spectators no time to think.
Hey, if you got a buck or two, here's my hat. I hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate it. So is my landlord. I enjoyed showing it to you, too.
A good street performer is always prepared. He could have an accident. The wind could come up and blow something off the table. Knowing what to say in these moments is very important. It keeps the show rolling. My life is full of mistakes. This one is keeping me company. Or it's a floor show. Hey, I'm sloppy, but I'm funny. Is it gravity or does the earth suck? It's all part of the show, the part I didn't rehearse. I have magic in my blood. It just hasn't reached my fingertips yet. If you think that was a mistake, you should have seen my first wife. No applause. What do you say? It's really nothing. I can tell by your applause. Hey, I know you're out there. I can hear you breathing. Thanks for that round of indifference. Hey, don't break your hands. Sounds like E.F. Hutton just spoke. By this time, you must be desperate to applaud. No applause, please. It antagonizes the other performers. Supposing somebody walks through the middle of your show. Hi, it's only a stage you're going through. Or hi, you're back. Are you in show business? It's my agent. Oh, somebody walks behind you. Oh, backstage passes. Lucky guy. Or, hey, it's the usher. When somebody leaves in the middle of the show, very, very important to stop them. You don't want other people seeing that and being influenced by that. So it's your words. Hey, where are you going? I didn't leave when you got here. Are we supposed to be here when he gets back? I'll tell him you stopped by. I'll speed up so we can all see what's so exciting. Hey, if you're going for pizza, I'll have a pepperoni. They like my show so much they're leaving to tell their friends. And then there's the lines that are in between. They keep the show moving. Hey, where are you from? Not that I care, but it makes me look like a nice guy. I talk pretty fast, so if you take drugs, you better take them now. It's nice to be among friends, even if you're not mine. I arrived in this city 2 weeks ago with $5 in my pocket, and I'm not leaving until I get even. Isn't this exciting? Everybody who's nobody is here today. I hope you can hear me back there, because the people in the front certainly aren't listening. Lines like these can save a show and can move it smoothly. And this is what you need to be. Be prepared. Now, just as important to the street performer, and especially the street magician, are his clothes and the hat he chooses. You don't want to be in New Orleans during the summer in a suit. The humidity alone would kill you. Should you find yourself in that predicament, my advice to you would be to dress lightly and work from a shoulder bag. Now, one of the most useful props for a street magician is his hat. Hats aid in building character, shield you against the weather, and serves as a collecting plate at the end of the show. They can be used to do an endless variety of effects. Let's look at a few. Now, the first hat I wore looked something like this. I made it myself. They're very easy to do. You cut out a big circle, you sew an elastic band in it, and anyway, it would hang like this. And that gave you a totally different sort of French look, the Renaissance kind of look. The second hat is when I changed to the fedora. Of course, mine had a lot of decorations. I used to tie a scarf around it, let it hang from the back, but it again made a very different character. Later on, I tried all types of hats. Sometimes I worked with a hat like this, which gives you a very funny kind of look. Other times I wore hats that were too small for me. But I liked that effect because it had that kind of look. And the other one, I finally settled on a hat like this. And you couldn't buy this, so you have to have them made. But it's the one that I finally settled on. But you have lots of choices. These are just a few. These hats create attention. If you're walking down the street looking like this, they're saying, hey, who is that guy? What's he going to do? Huh? So remember, hats make characters. And at the end, of course, perfect serving plate. Collecting plate. Let's have the money. The bigger the hat, of course, the bigger the ego. So this is a very big hat. Anyway, collecting the money. Good luck on your choice. Hats can be used for vanishes, productions. You can produce rabbits, silks. You can vanish balls. You can do all kinds of things with hats. They're unlimited. I used it to produce balls and to drop them into the hat. It didn't make any difference how many I produced. They would go into the hat, you can see. But when I want them to vanish, they disappear. And so could you add something like that to your routine. Yeah, this is what I call the gypsy outfit. Had a vest, a shirt, and a pair of trousers or pants. Along with that, a set of Birkenstocks, and in the cooler winter months, boots. Along with the outfit went 2 sets of bags. One was a back bag, which held all my props, my money, my identification, rope, balls, the cups, even my cards. You name it, all my supplies for the day were carried in the back. It hooked up like this, went around the waist. This one isn't mine, it's a little small, but it'll show you exactly what the idea, so that you could reach back and take whatever you wanted out of the back while you were performing. The front bags appear to be 2 pockets, but are actually just 1 large pocket. Of course, they contained all the normal items for productions. For example, the cups and balls. I had the small balls in here, the large fruit, the wand. I actually kept my coins in the loads that I needed for the cups itself. And even Old Faithful Mr. Thumbtip. The silks used during the show were tucked into the side. These I used for the knots, and the others were used for different effects, such as the giant coin routine, etc. And there you have it. Essentially, that's what it was. If I didn't put the hanks of rope in the back, I carried 1 big piece of rope with me, which I threw out to form a circle. Later on, I carried a tambourine. This was my sound factor, using the tambourine to attract the crowd. So there you have it. And this is what I wear today. I'll walk you through it. Here are the pouches built into the pants. Those hold the fruit, the large objects. Here are my normal pockets. In back, I have 3 pockets on each side, 6 in all. The lowest one being the one I used most to get rid of items or to steal items from. And of course the vest. The vest had 3 pockets on each side. One for coins, the other one's mainly for small items, handkerchiefs, cigarettes, whatever. But all very handy pockets to have. On the inside, you'll see that I have 2 safety pins, one in each side. Each one holds a magnet, a very strong magnet. And you'll see why in a moment. Nothing fancy, just a safety pin and 2 magnets. And now we'll complete the dress. The ever important coat. On the outside, it looked like a normal coat. I had 2 normal pockets on the outside, 2 on the inside. And what you see appears to be one big bag. I'll turn it inside out and give you a better view. You see it's sewn up high. I'll put my arm through it where you can see. And that's because the weight is carried by the shoulders rather than the coat. Sewed about 6 inches from above the edge of the coat in a U-like fashion, so that all the weight is carried by the shoulders and doesn't show on the outside of the coat. Along front, you'll see it's a piece of metal in there on each side. When the coat is worn, and I button the front vest, the magnets attract the metal and automatically hook up to top it. Look, I'll put my hand through it so you can see. There's one side, the same on the other side. The metal attaches itself to the magnets, forming the top it. You can carry all kinds of things in the top it. I generally have a large load in the back, but you can see it doesn't show. And yet, when I want that object, I just poke it to one side, and it comes to where I can steal it in the front of the coat. And there you see the size. And this is a solid object. If it was softer, it would be even less visible. But there you have it. And when you walk away, you simply wipe them away if you don't need to top it. You have fulfilled your part of the bargain. Now it's time to collect by passing the hat. First you thank them, then you go into your collection pitch for the money. Some performers say a few words, others have longer pitches. Here's what I said, backed up by one-liners.
Now before you go, I'd like to leave you with these thoughts in the form of a little poem. When I turn my hat inside out, it's as empty as can be. Now you folks should understand and join in sympathy. Some of you will disappear, whether it's night or day, walk away from the crowd so you don't have to pay. But remember, I didn't leave when you got here. Besides, guilt is a terrible thing. So now to keep the show working for all you fine, kind folks, I must continue to pass the hat. Thank you, God bless you, have a magical day here in Denver.
Having the lines to say, now the people start to come up and they start to throw money, and you urge them forward with your words. Hey, money is like butter. You have to spread it around for it to do any good. The more you give, the better I live. Money stinks, but I don't mind the smell. If you don't give, I'll follow you home and do the show all over again. Hey, if you didn't give at the office, now's your chance. God bless you and keep you. He knows I can't afford to. Loving and giving makes life worth living. They say a performer is only as good as his audience. If that's true, then tonight I was great. If you can give, give. If you can't give, give. I could have been your kid. No contribution is too small. Just fold it up and drop it in the hat. All your contributions are tax-free. I pay no taxes. That solidifies. And the more you use that, the more lines, the better it is. If the lines can tug at their heart or make them laugh, then you're home free.
Thank you. Cheers.
Now you have some idea of what street performing is about, and I hope you take to heart the advice it offers, not to mention the hidden blessings it provides. It is my wish that someday you will step outside into the sunshine and experience the thrill of performing before a live audience. There is nothing I can think of that would hasten you towards your goals. It matters not what your chosen area, clown, comic, magician, sword swallower, yo-yo worker, or storyteller. Street performing has something to offer. In our continuous series, we shall ease into Louisiana's Big Easy and take you into the heart of New Orleans in the French Quarter. There we will visit a witch's house, do some street magic together, talk with fellow magicians, and teach you how to build a show using the many effects you'll see and learn while there. So until we meet again, take care.
If you're just tuning in now, you're too late.